Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Infuse Your Future podcast. This is Dr. C. Today is exciting because we finally hit double digits, number 10. And I'm going to be speaking with Transformational Life Coach Tina Jett, and we're going to be talking about self-love. So enjoy. Hey, everybody, this is Dr. C with Infuse Your Future, and today we have another great guest speaker, Tina Jett. Tina is a transformational health and life coach, as well as a clarity catalyst coach. And today we're going to be talking about self-love. So with no further ado, hi, Tina.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing great.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
And thanks for being on the show. So why don't you start by telling us a little bit about yourself and what you do and
Well, to tell you a little about myself, I kind of need to take you a little bit back, if that's okay, and just kind of give you an overview. So, all my life, I just kind of always went with the flow. I was a people pleaser. Um, and around the time I would say about 40, I think around the time I turned 40, I kind of looked around at my life and I thought, this is it. Like, it's not going to change. It's going to be, I call it Groundhog Day. It's going to be the same thing every single day, Groundhog Day. And I thought there's got to be something more to life than this. So I ended up leaving my 18-year-old marriage to an alcoholic. And my then 15-year-old daughter and I went and got our own place. And I thought, okay, this is great. This is great. But something was still missing. And I didn't know what it was. Something I still, Friday night, I'd come home and I'd be, wow, I'd look, it's just me. Well, me and the dog are going to hang out and watch Netflix. Like, there's got to be something more. Then I met somebody else, and it moved very quickly, the relationship, and we got married. And needless to say, I had no idea, but I married a narcissist on the highest level you could imagine. And so couple years into that relationship, I knew something was seriously wrong. I went to counseling. I hired my own life coach. I had a health coach as well at one point, and thought, here I go again. Got to rechange my life. And so I left that relationship with nothing but my clothes and my dog, and I started over. And I knew I had to find the answer. What was missing? Why was I picking relationships that weren't healthy for me? So I started really looking into myself and discovering that I needed to love me 100% authentically before I would have anything to fully, wholly give to somebody else. So I went through my own transformation, learning who I was, what did I like, what made me laugh, what made me smile, and started just self-love, diving into that. Had a life coach as well at the time. And just really, reading books, learning to do things for myself without feeling guilty or selfish. I found that if I went and did something on a Saturday, I felt guilty if I hadn't cleaned the house first, or, I had a hard time receiving as well. I love to give and do things for others. So during all that, I created a Facebook group that was just for women, because I thought if I could share my story with just one woman to know she's not alone and that she can get through it as I did, then that would be great. So I started doing that, and kind of then had a light bulb moment that I really have a passion and I want to help people be able to discover their life purpose like I did and live their best life. So I went back to school, and I got, my certifications for life and health coaching. And I also received my mastery certifications for coaching and transformational learning. And then, of course, the clarity catalyst as well, which to me is just an added bonus that I add into my coaching programs when I work with clients one-on-one. So it took me a while. It took me a few years. But now, I mean, I love me some me. Like, I love hanging out with me. Like, I get to sleep with myself. I eat with myself. I spend 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with myself. So I need to be able to look in the mirror and say, I love myself. And I find so many people I ask that question to, have you ever looked in the mirror and just said, I love you? And people are like, no, but we're so quick to critique ourselves, like when we look in the mirror, going, oh, my hair doesn't look good, or I, have too much weight here or there or whatnot. And we say things to ourselves that we wouldn't say to our friends, our
Right.
family members, and it's like, well, then why would we say that to ourselves? So, I've learned with self-love, and when you have compassion for yourself, it opens up a whole new world. So that's why I went into transformational life coaching, so that I can help people discover their life purpose, so that they can rediscover their self-esteem and their self-worth, so they can go on and live the life of their dreams without, feeling guilty or selfish.
I love that. What a story. And
That's
I
just it
mean,
in a nutshell. But yeah.
I know, right? Right. It always goes so deep. But first, I want to say congratulations to you for being a survivor
Thank
and,
you.
for finally finding the key. I mean, so many of us, when we're growing up, we're told that it's selfish to love yourself or it's, bad. It's something bad. And we're not talking about a selfish self-love here. We're talking about true caring about yourself. Just like when
Mhm.
you're on the airplane, they say put your own breathing mask on first before you try to help your kids,
Exactly.
right?
Yes.
Because you have to, in a very non-selfish way, be selfish in a mature way.
Hmm.
And I love
Absolutely. It's
that.
like,
Go ahead.
no, absolutely. I was just gonna say, it's like I always tell my clients, you've got your cup, right? Your cup needs to be overflowing with, maybe you like getting your nails done, maybe you like getting a massage, maybe you like meditating, journaling, reading, going for a walk, whatever it is. Your cup needs to be overflowing with self-love. Once your cup is overflowing, you have so much more to give to others, and it's easier to give. You're not exhausted, you're not frustrated, you're not irritated. But you got to fill your cup first.
So true, so true. And it's funny that you should mention the whole looking in the mirror. Um, I know this is an exercise I do with with some of my clients, and I've done it for myself. And I don't know about for men, but for women, for me in particular, when I first tried, so the exercise is you to look in the mirror and tell yourself you love yourself and tell yourself good things about yourself out loud. And I remember the first several times I couldn't do it at all. And then for a few times I was almost in tears trying to do it. And I still find it uncomfortable even after all the self work I've done. But
Mm.
of course, it gets easier and easier. But that's a powerful, powerful exercise that anybody can start doing even today. Is just walk in
Absolutely.
the
Yeah,
mirror.
absolutely. And just look in the mirror and just find one positive. Find, we're so quick to focus on the negative, right? And I work with men as well. So I have men do this as well.
Oh.
So it doesn't, matter, men, women, it doesn't matter, to
Is it easier
even
for men? Do you think?
kids. What?
Is it easier for men? Do you think?
No, men have the exact same struggles that we do.
Mm.
We're all human and we all struggle with the same thing. But when I'm able to, watch that transformation, and I watch, my clients, male or female, start to evolve and realize, you know what? I look pretty good today. Yeah, I'm 50, I'm 60, I'm 40. What, it doesn't matter. I've got a good quality there. There's good qualities to find. But yeah, it works the same way, men or women.
Yeah, yeah. One of my tricks for self valuing myself and self love is if I start feeling down, I start talking about all my wins for the day, right? And we're talking even the tiniest wins. You got to give yourself credit for. Getting out of bed is a win,
Mhm.
especially for people that are depressed or struggling. Um, I helped however many patients today. I was able to feed my kids. I took the dog for a walk. I mean,
Mhm.
these are all wins. If you're in corporate, I nailed that presentation.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a relationship, I made a great connection with a guy or a girl that I like. You know,
Hmm.
constantly, give yourself validation that you're showing up in the world. And
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Just every day, even if it's just you're writing down in a journal, I'm grateful. What are you grateful for today? My clients too, like the way I do, like I am statements. Just every day, add to it. At first, it's easy. Okay, I am, you know, kind. I am, whatever your I am statement is. After a while, it starts getting a little bit tricky. You got to really start digging in deep. But that's all part of self-love and getting to know yourself. And being able to love yourself is getting to know yourself and being your own best friend.
be able to value yourself even though you make mistakes, right? I mean, we're all human,
They're
and a lot
lessons,
of us
right?
really
Hmm.
do the beating ourselves up when we make a mistake.
Oh, yeah.
So what do you
Oh,
have
I
to
know.
say?
Why do I do that?
I
Carla, why
know,
do
right?
I know? It's like, okay, it's okay. They're just lessons. They're not mistakes. I encourage everybody to think of it, okay, what lesson can I learn from this?
Right, right. And if you look back at the most successful people in the world, they have a lot of failures. But the
Mhm.
difference between successful people and people that are not quote unquote successful is the successful people just picked themselves up and carried on after each failure.
Right. And sometimes it's not easy to get up and brush yourself off. I mean, I could have totally picked a different route and just had a pity party and felt sorry for myself. And this is what, my life's supposed to be. And that's that, but I mean, I had to dig myself through the trenches. It wasn't easy. I mean,
Mhm.
I remember at one point being down on my hands and knees and I just said, I give up. I don't know what I'm supposed to do, but I surrender because obviously me doing it on my own, it's not working. So what do I do? Where do I go? You know,
So, what are three of your top self care suggestions, recommendations?
three of my top self-care suggestions. Well, being kind to yourself,
Mm,
saying something positive to yourself every day, that's going to help. Even if you have to have a post-it note up on your mirror to remind yourself that you are amazing. Because remember, there's only one you. How cool is that? There's not two of you. We're all so authentic and unique. So it's something like that, reminding yourself that. And then doing something for yourself every day, even if it's 30 minutes a day, that's 5% of your day. I don't care if it's 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the afternoon, and 10 minutes in the evening, something. Maybe you're going for a walk. Maybe you're just sitting and meditating, anything, reading a book, not scrolling social media though, or watching Netflix, that those are all numbing activities, but something that you're
mm,
doing directly for you. Maybe, it's light your favorite candle and enjoy the scent. Maybe take a hot bath, you know.
oh, that sounds great.
Yeah. So for self-love, I wouldn't say I have a top three. I would say it's just picking something that resonates with you that you do for yourself every day and say, okay, 5% of my day, I can do that. I'm going to commit to doing that.
I love that. And these are all things that anybody can do,
Oh, absolutely.
right?
Maybe, if you are, let's say somebody, is battling, they want to lose some weight, you know, and they realize that, that they're mindlessly, going to the cabinet, opening it up, staring in there, grabbing that bag of cookies. Okay. So the question would be, okay, what are you wanting in your life that's sweet? What
Mm,
could you do in your life for yourself that's sweet? Maybe you could go buy yourself some flowers. I buy myself flowers all the time. I always keep fresh flowers. I realize I don't have to wait for somebody to buy me flowers. I can buy myself flowers, and there's something for me, there's something about that of walking into the room and seeing, a little thing of fresh flowers. You can pick them up at Walmart for under $5, just to
mhm.
have something in there. And it just makes you happy.
It does. And
Mhm.
I know one of the the big tools in the coaching world is getting in touch with your five senses, and flowers
Mhm.
have so much, right? They
Mhm.
have the visual with the colors, and the shapes, and then they have the aroma, which gets your
Mhm.
their sense of smell going. And then they have different textures. So that's
Mm-hmm.
three senses right there.
Absolutely. And you can even sit there and think about, okay, well, how did these flowers get to the store? Who grew them? What
Mm,
was the process? And really, and just think about that. Who picked them? Who bundled them up, and put them on the truck? Who was the trucker that drove them to the store? I mean, you can just keep going.
I know, I know, I know. And I can already hear some viewers and listeners thinking to themselves, because one thing that you mentioned was just be kind to yourself and tell yourself positive things every day and pump yourself up. And I can already hear some people saying, well, that's lying to myself, that's not real, that's toxic positivity.
Yeah.
But there's a great podcast that Pat Flynn with the Smart Passive Income
Hmm.
did
I
a
know
while
Pat.
back.
Yeah.
And he interviewed a woman who is a therapist. And she said, we all lie to ourselves anyway. So why not make it a better lie? For instance, we put ourselves down all the time, like we're not good enough, we suck at this, we are never successful, we never do anything good. Every single one of those is a lie
Hmm.
because you know that there's something you've done that's successful in life, even if it
Yeah,
was.
oh, absolutely. I mean, so often we're comparing ourselves to somebody else. So, we want to be a best-selling author. We want to be like Oprah and have a number one book, but we've never written a page in our life. Or we want to be an Instagram influencer, but we just started an Instagram account, right? And we think, oh, well, we're not enough. But enough according to who? You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that reminds me of another the author Elizabeth Gilbert. She wrote a book called Big Magic where she was
Mhm.
saying, don't create stuff for other people and don't create stuff that's only going to be deemed successful if it's on the New York Times bestseller list. Just be creative to just be creative. Just draw a picture on your own and don't care who it's for. Just do it for yourself.
Mhm.
Just bake a cake for yourself. I mean, it doesn't have to go into the magazine, the best home.
Right. It's so hard though, because people, men and women, we have a lot on our plates these days,
Oh, sure.
and, running from here, running to there, working, whatever commitments we have. And it's like, I hear what I hear all the time is, I don't have time for myself. This sounds great. I would love to love myself, but how do I do that? I remember years ago, I was watching, I think it was Oprah actually, back when Oprah was on TV. Remember back in the day? And
I love
I don't
Oprah.
remember who was on there, but whoever her guest was, I don't remember who it was. And I remember they were talking about, oh, I love myself and this is just wonderful. And Oprah's like, isn't it great? And I'm just sitting there like, well, I want that,
Mhm.
and Oprah's like, you just gotta love yourself. And sorry, I have a dog.
Oh, I
The
love
dog's barking.
that.
Might let the dog out.
She wants to be on the podcast too.
I guess so. They saw it's really windy here today, and so the wind is all blowing, and so yeah, isn't an issue. So I think they'll be quiet now. So
I can
got
barely
them to
hear
go
them.
out. So I apologize to all of your listeners, but yes, I have dogs. um. Anyways, so going back to what I was saying, and I said, well, they're talking, oh yeah, I love myself, and it's like, well, how do I do that? They made it sound so simple. It's like, oh, well, you're supposed to love yourself. So, okay, I'm going to do that. It's not that easy, just to be able to, just to do it. But
Just to
really
do it
with the right,
overnight, right? But with
yeah, you
consistent
can't just,
practice, you do.
okay, all right, Tina said I need to love myself. Okay, so I love me. It's not going to be like that. But like in my coaching programs, in 90 days, within 90 days, I get my clients there. It's amazing. It's amazing. And we do everything in baby steps, and and learning, and again, with the right support, the right accountability, and the right program in place to start having, people learn to do things for themselves and look forward to it till pretty soon it just becomes simply what you do, like brushing your teeth. You're going to give yourself some self-love every day, and that self-love turns into loving yourself.
Right, right. And I think it's important that you mentioned it doesn't happen overnight. I mean, if you
Mhm.
decide you want to learn how to play golf, you're not going to be in the Masters tomorrow,
Mhm.
and
Right.
it doesn't have to be stressful. It can be a fun journey. And it's about practice, you know, little steps every day to get you to your destination.
Hmm.
And to just give
Absolutely.
yourself grace, you know, when you fall off and start beating yourself up again, to just give yourself grace and just remind yourself, okay, self-love again, you know,
Yeah,
try.
exact self-love again. Like this moment, we're not going to have it again. So this moment you messed up and said something negative, that's okay. I mean, I still beat myself up. I don't, I'm not, telling myself I'm amazing all the time. I mean, I still have the same struggles as everybody else, I mean, and the struggle is real and I get it, but it takes constant work. But it's easy to do, but you need the right tools to be able to do it.
Or just like cleaning the house and brushing the teeth. Those are two of my favorite analogies. You know,
Hmm.
anything you do, as long as you're going through life, it's going to be something you need to repeat. You know, you clean your house and it looks great, but throughout life, it's going to be dirty again. So you just clean it
Yeah.
again. Teeth, you know, you brush them, but then you're going to eat a meal. And so you have to brush them again. And
Hmm.
these are simple, easy things to do that once you're in the habit of doing it, it just flows and it's second
Yeah,
nature.
absolutely. Yeah, it's all habit change. Yeah, transformation, and absolutely. But it can be done. It definitely, and it's not as scary. Change is so scary. The unknown is always so scary, but it really is simple to be able to learn to just take care of you, take care of the body you're given, the mind you're given, and give it some love.
So tell me, without mentioning any names, what is your biggest success story with someone who came to you totally down on themselves, didn't think they were worth the grass that they stepped on, and they turned
Mhm.
themselves around, transformed? What's your
So I can
success
give you
story
quite a few examples. Let me think who I want to pull from. Um,
there? If you
I
just
I
want to
had
composite.
Yeah, I mean, an example would be, I had a client who came to me and, was going through a divorce, trying to figure out what am I going to do next. Didn't love themselves, didn't know that that was something they even should be doing. And so they actually went through my premium package program, which is a 6-month program, but oh my gosh, within probably, so yeah, 12 week, probably within 6 weeks,
Hmm.
there was already, the transition was already happening. I also had another client, come to me and same thing, kind of Groundhog Day stuff going on and feeling very stuck. Always wondered what it was like to work with a life coach, but wasn't quite sure what a life coach was.
Right.
And so they hired me for my 90-day program and had a huge transformation, not only mentally, but physically as well. They had come to me and they had some health issues. Um, Through my program, we were able to get those health issues cleared up to even the doctor said, "What are you doing? What did you do?" And they said, "Well, I hired a life coach." And they're like, "Well, tell me more about that." That client actually went on to sign up after my 90-day program for a 6-month program. And I think that one probably stands out the most to me because I remember getting a text one day and they said, "I just want to thank you." I'm like, "For what?" Like, "You've changed my life. The rest of my life is changed because of you." And I said, I just get to be witness. I just get to be along for the journey. You did the work. I'm just there holding their hand. I hold their hand every step of the way. And we do everything in teeny tiny little baby steps. But those baby steps is where the transformation takes place. Um, so it's a privilege for me. I'm honored to be able to watch people and they entrust me to go along with them on the journey to change their lives. But I think when I got that text that said, "You changed the rest of my life, the rest of my life will never be the same. Big thank you. I don't know how I'm ever going to thank you." I was just like, wow, I'm right where I need to be. Like, I love my life, you know.
That is beautiful. That
Thank
is
you.
absolutely beautiful. So I know you and I are both in the belief that change is about habit change and about
Mhm.
small steps every day.
Mhm.
So if you could give the listeners and viewers a little simple piece of advice, just one tiny thing that they can do today to make the first step towards giving themselves more self-love, what would that be? Very simple, very tiny, whether they have money or resources or not.
You don't have to have money or resources. You know, I would say, all right, you want to play with me for a minute? Can we
Love
just
to.
play? Okay,
Let's
let's
play.
just play for a minute. And then your listeners, I ask everybody just to play along with me. So I would say, close your eyes,
Okay.
feel your feet on the floor,
Hmm.
take a nice, big, deep breath in, and just imagine for a moment the future version of you who is loving themselves, who is doing something every day for themselves. You're already experiencing this. It's 3 months from now. You've achieved everything you set out to achieve in 90 days. And just see yourself living with self love, doing things for yourself without feeling guilty or selfish. And in your mind, you can just think to yourself, what does that feel like? Feel what you know, what your life purpose is. You're loving yourself being so unique. And just in your mind's eye, just what do you see? What do you hear? And just imagine for a moment what else would open up in your life if you'd be able to do in your life what you want to do now. And just breathe into that for a moment. Just filled with love, knowing you're amazing and you're authentic. Just breathe into that. And then when you're ready, you can bring that knowing back to the here and now. Maybe just kind of wiggle your butt, open your eyes, shake it off. But that's just kind of like just a little sampling when you start thinking about what you want in the future. When we think about having to climb a hill, it seems impossible, right? But when you have the right account, the right accountability, the right support, the right system, the right that support, you're not climbing that hill alone and you're learning tiny little bits to love yourself. So I would encourage anybody who's listening today, what's one thing you could do today for yourself? Could you go buy yourself some flowers?
Mm,
Is there a pedicure or a manicure you've been wanting to do, but you just haven't found the time to do it? Can you go schedule that today? Just do something.
that sounds amazing. You sound like an amazing coach to work with, Tina.
Oh, thank you.
If people
Thank
wanted to
you.
work with you, how do they get in touch with you?
Well, I have my website. It's I don't know if you can put that in the comments somewhere, but it's life, LIFE, and then dash wire.net. You can sign up. I actually have a 30-day self-care love guide on there that's complimentary. So your listeners can go there and get that. And it's 30 days of things to do for self-love every day. And it's all very simple, very doable, and most of it doesn't cost any money. So you could do that. And then I also offer complimentary sessions. So I love to give back. In order to give back, I gift out 30-minute sessions every month.
Oh,
So if
nice.
I usually am out of them. I only do so many a month. But for any of your listeners, on my website, where it says want more information, I think it says let's connect. There's a
Uh-huh.
comment. Just put Dr. C, and I'll know, and I'll make sure that your listeners get that 30-minute session. And it's no strings attached at all. It's my way of giving back, like I said. And I guarantee you in that 30 minutes that we spend together, you'll take something away for what your next step should be, regardless if we work together or not.
I love it. This has been a really fantastic program. Are there any other parting words you'd like to say before we sign off?
Just remember that you have one life and what a gift that is. And tomorrow's not promised. And when you get to the end, whenever that is, and you're in that rocking chair moment, and you're looking back at your life, do you want to be able to say, wow, I wish I had the courage to do that. I wish I had done this instead. I wish I had gone there. Or do you want to say, wow, I can't believe I went there. I can't believe I did that. Or I tried that. I really sucked at it, but boy, at least I tried. Right. So I guess that would be my parting words is just think about that rocking chair moment, because tomorrow's not promised. And we are so authentic and we need to embrace that.
That was beautiful. So I want to thank you so much for being on the program again today, and I will be sure to include your link in the show notes. So look out for those below, and look forward to
Awesome.
having you on again in the future.
Oh, I would love it. Thank you so much. Thank you. I
You're very,
appreciate it.
very welcome. All right, keep in touch.
I will. Thank you.
Bye. Thanks for listening, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Be sure to follow the podcast so you get future episodes. Today's challenge and query for you is, how are you going to love yourself today? Let us know in the comments below. And if you're ready to hire myself or Tina as a transformational life coach, be sure to check out the show notes where we have both of our websites where you can reach us. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.